if you're not early or late, bro.
I got you. I'm technically challenged.
I know. Hey, but you made it, dude. That's awesome. Look, I got my old school UCR shirt that I found. I haven't worn it in 20 years, man.
Well, I think I've got a few of those myself.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure. All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us today, Troy. So everybody out there, we've got Troy Percival on with us today, head coach, UC Riverside Baseball. He doesn't need much introduction, but for those that don't know, Troy was in the big leagues for 14 years or so with the Angels for a lot of them. He closed out a World Series Game 7 win. I think a 4-time All-Star, Angels leader in saves, finished up with 358 Major League Baseball saves. A guy who played at UC Riverside and is now back as the head coach there. I think this was your 5th year, right?
Yeah, that was number 5, number 6. That was number 6, right?
Oh, my God.
So next year will be 7.
Next year will be 7. Time flies when you're having fun. Mike Carpentier, IE's finest, he said to you right now.
All right.
There you go. You got the IE tuned into you today. Dude, what are you doing right now?
Well, right now I'm social distancing out in Parker, Arizona, wishing I could get on the water.
I bet. If you're not on the baseball field, you're in the water.
Yeah, if I had my preference, I'd be out throwing bullpens, getting all my boys ready to go. But, you know, we can't get that going. I can't wait to get back out there and help those boys get back on track.
I mean, you guys were having a pretty strong season. I think you had a couple of big series wins there, right? You took Holy Cross and I think St. Mary's. You had a couple series wins when this thing shut down. Like, that's got to be tough, man, just ending the season like that. What do you say to the kids? Like, how'd that kind of play out?
I'll be honest with you, I was so distraught about it. There wasn't much I could say. I just went in and told the guys, I know this is disturbing, but we're shut down, and we hope that we're going to get back going. And obviously that didn't turn out that way. But, we'd waited 5 years of building a program to get where we were, and we had won 9 of 11. Guys were feeling good about it. Other than starting off again a little bit and lost, we were having a really good. And you're frozen in time.
Yeah, hang on. You were cutting out a little bit there. Let's see if this
All right,
thing.
I'm back.
You're back. And hey, one of the things, I think I missed, but you guys also took a series from Cal Baptist. So 3 series wins in the first, 4 weeks of the season. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we were on track to have a good year. Our pitching was finally coming around, throwing strikes, buying into what we're trying to do with no walks, forcing the other team to beat us and play good defense. And, like I said, it took a lot of years to get the right mix, and I'm very disappointed we didn't get a chance to go out and showcase it.
Yeah, I remember coming out right when you had taken over and talking with you. And I've known you for a long time, since around 2000 when I first saw you when I was out there. I probably didn't understand the baseball mind that you had. And I think a lot of it probably goes back from being a catcher back in the day. Like, you see the field differently. You're like a field general. You got a really unbelievable baseball mind. And I remember you said, you're like, it's going to take me 3, 4, 5 years to get this going. And you finally had that team going this year. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, like I said, it was a lot of recruiting. We had to clean house my first year, and then we went the JC route just so we could go out and recruit. Ended up having a top 30 recruiting class a few years back, and now those are the guys out on the field. So it does take a little longer than people expected to get a base set. Our base is set. It'll be good for the next 2-3 years, but obviously this new draft format has a chance to hurt us a little bit. Guys can go out and be free agents and leave for $20,000, and I anticipate we'll lose a few guys that we didn't expect to go.
Then I guess you just get back out there and refill your pipeline again. How important is it for you guys to win in like that Inland Empire area? There's a lot of, coaches out there who played at UC Riverside that Madrill and you got George Wise out there, and you got Estevan Valencia, who coached at UC Riverside. So there's a lot of guys out there who are always pulling for that UCR baseball program.
Yeah, it's a very storied program as far as alumni goes. Our alumni have stayed very tight-knit. They follow the program. They help the program. And having those guys go out and coach is great for us. I have a good relationship with a lot of the IE coaches, and I really try to emphasize IE players when we're recruiting. If you look at our roster, I mean, we're 60-70% of Inland Empire guys.
Yeah, that's legit. I mean, winning close to home is probably key. And you, I mean, you're the hometown guy, Percy. Like, in 2000 when I first saw you there, I mean, you're like Mr. Riverside. You know, you grew up playing out there, Moval High School. You played for the Angels. You came back home and trained at UCR all the time. You played at UC Riverside. You ended up coaching at Moval High School before you took this job at Riverside. Dude, tell us about that experience, because I came and saw you at Moreno Valley, and like the program that you took over and built in 2 years was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights of my life, is going out there and coaching those kids. They listened. They worked hard. You know, if I showed up at the field on the weekend to work on it, next thing I know, a practice would break out. They'd just be out there working. Some of the hardest working kids you could possibly get. Very rewarding to get a chance to go play in the post.
Yeah, that's cool. And I mean, that is, your work ethic has always, you know, stood out to me. You're a guy who's always worked extremely hard, whether it was building fields or coaching or working out and prep for your own playing career. How do you instill that kind of mentality and approach with the kids you got on the team? Like, how do you build that?
You know, I just try to explain to them, you're going to get out of baseball what you put into baseball. I've got some very hardworking coaches. We make it fun for the guys. And truthfully, I think just letting them go out and play the game without micromanaging them makes them enjoy the game, and just tell them all we expect is we don't quit until that last out is over, regardless of what the score is. And I think we have developed that in our program. Other coaches know that we're not going to quit until that last out is made. It's a fun group of guys as long as we're playing hard.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know if many people know out there, especially the young kids, but you were a catcher back in the day, and you were drafted as a catcher. And I think I was looking up some old school stats from UCR, and I want to say your fielding percentage, like your last year there, was the best in school history at like 0.993%, and you had 49 assists. And so all they talked about was the cannon arm you had behind the plate. So, you know, you were a hitter and a position player before you got transitioned into a pitcher.
Well, I had to be a good defensive catcher because I couldn't hit. So, you know, you got to be able to do something well. And when I got drafted, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. They said, hey, you really throw well. I didn't hear much about the bat. So next thing I know, I was on the mound, and great career. I loved having it. But I'm really looking forward to the next chapter, and see what we can do here.
Yeah, UCR's got a great tradition of a strong baseball program. It's a Big West school, and I think like many of these Big West schools, baseball, to me, is the crown jewel of the program at UC Riverside. 2 national championships at the D2 level back in the day, I think 77 and 80 or 81. And just, it's been a great program. The alumni days are always awesome out there. I remember, dude, I was on the mound, probably the highlight of my life. You came up to hit against me in the alumni game in your jeans, and you took one Yahtzee, foul by about 2 inches. So I mean, it was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, I think I dropped a bunt after that because I knew I wasn't going to get a hit. But yeah, it's just a great, unique situation at UCR. All the people come back. We get 140 people come back for alumni golf, and it's a great storied program, and glad to see, it looks like basketball is going to start taking hold, and now maybe we can get this whole program underway and do well in every sport.
So in 07, you built the new clubhouse for the guys, which is awesome, and you did it basically by yourself. I mean, it shows the dedication you've got to the program. 100%, you're all in. What in the future? What other things will they be doing to the Plex out there to try and help with recruiting and momentum and building the program up?
We've really improved a lot. A lot of surface stuff. Our playing fields got better. We've resurfaced that. Our batting cages got a little better, but we really need a 3 or 4 tunnel batting cage. It's very difficult when you can only work with one guy at a time. If we could ever get that to happen, I think that'd really make huge strides in what we can do on the field. And other than that, we'd like to do a stadium wrap. We'd like to make the place a little better aesthetically. So when recruits do come in, they understand that we are pushing forward every year. We've done a lot in the last 6 years, but there's a lot more that needs to be done.
Yeah, it's a hell of a facility. I mean, it was an old minor league complex, and you roll in there, and it's a big facility. The stands are good, and the field looks nice. So, yeah, I think, with recruiting, it probably does help to have some of those other perks like the big hitting facility and stuff.
Yeah, it helps the coaches, though. It keeps us out there a lot less time and be able to work with more people than one at a time. My hitting coach works from 8:30 in the morning all day long, and guys just have to stop in and get their swings. And, just things like that would kind of equal the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, you got a good staff out there with you. Johnson and Kurt and Yates, and I think Parnell's still out there with you. You got a bunch of good dudes out there that are always working hard with the kids.
Yeah, you can't say enough about my staff. They work hard. They're tireless, and that we just love our kids. I think we've done a good job of bringing in the right kids. It's a right blend where everybody enjoys coming to the field every day. And when you enjoy your work, you're better at it.
Yeah, that's true. Back to like coaching style. So, what is the Percy way of playing baseball out there? Like what are you looking for in a kid that joins the Highlanders out there?
I want guys that are gritty. I don't need the most talented guys. I don't need everybody to throw 95. I need guys that are not afraid to put themselves on the line. They're going to take the extra base. I'm not looking for the guy that hits the routine ground ball and jogs it to first. We want to play hard, and when we do that, we have a chance to win every day. We've got a lot of strike throwers now. I got away from trying to get a whole lot of strikeout guys. We just want to put the ball in play defense, and play hard. That'll beat talent all day, every day, if you can just throw strikes and play defense.
Yeah, and I think that goes deep in, Big West and the non-conference schedule that you guys have in Southern California. You got some of the best baseball in the nation right here. Big West is no joke, and then your non-conference games, you're matching up with the UCLAs of the world, the Pepperdines, the LMUs, SC. You got a lot of good games out here.
There is. It's not difficult to schedule. As long as you have a decent program, guys will play in. We're very fortunate to start off with UCLA this year. And let me tell you what, they earned that #1 ranking they had. That was some kind of program. I'd like to have a shot at them at the end of the season. I think we were going to keep getting better. But those kind of programs are what we strive to become.
Yeah. So being in the big leagues for a long time, what you had some legit coaches back in the day. So I think you played for Sosha. I think you played for Joe Madden out in Tampa Bay. What have those guys taught you about managing a game?
Be true to yourself. You got, for me to manage, it's got to be my personality. I've tried to mimic some of what they did. Some of it works for me, some doesn't. I play the game one way. I expect my guys to play it that way. But learning from Joe and Soch is keep the clubhouse fun. That's where you're going to be winning a lot of ball games, is if your clubhouse is fun, the guys like each other, they play for each other. A lot better than having cliques of guys that don't really care about each other. And that's the atmosphere that we have done. And that's what Joe does. That's what Soch does. I got to play for LaRussa a little bit. Jimmy Leland in spring training. Yeah, there's some great ones out there, but I think as a coach, you have to go out and develop who you are and take bits and pieces from everybody you've learned from.
Building that team camaraderie, I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, chemistry is huge.
Team chemistry.
You'll hear guys say it's not that important, but that's coming from teams that don't win. It is important, and I think it makes your day better whether you do win or lose, is if you've got good chemistry.
What was the team that you played on that had the best team chemistry, period?
Well, any team that Joe manages always has great chemistry because he just knows how to do that. But 2002 with the Angels was incredible. We started the season, I think, 6-14, and you wouldn't have known it. You come in the clubhouse, it was the same every day. And once we got on a roll, it just never stopped because there was no finger pointing. It was just, we're all in this together. And, we never even had to have big team meetings. It's just a great group of guys that were there for one reason. That's to play hard and win.
Yeah, they'd all back each other up. What do you have? All right, so like at this, this day and age, everyone's sitting at home. What do you guys do as a staff to keep engaging with the players that you have? Because you did build a pretty good team chemistry this year. How do you keep that rolling through the shutdown?
Truthfully, it's going to have to start when you come back because we're going to, obviously there'll be some guys that are gone, and then we're bringing in 7 or 8 new players, and you just got to start all over and build that team unity. Right now, all we can do is keep guys informed of what's going on. We don't even know much. We don't know if summer ball is going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with the draft. So at this point, I think everybody's just kind of sitting back waiting, and we don't have much information to give them.
Yeah, I just saw last night. I was laying in bed, and I saw that they canceled the Cape last night. So that's a tough one because there's probably a lot of summer leagues that ride off of them. Like if they're shutting down, maybe more.
Yeah, and again, we don't know if any of them are going to play, and if they don't, that means my guys haven't been out there, so we're going to have to be really slow with the way we progress, especially with our pitchers. And guys are taking a full year off at that point, and we just don't know. This is unprecedented.
Yeah, it really is crazy. So, are there drills that kids what kind of drills can kids do right now at their house to keep them kind of motivated and in shape?
In my day, we had a pitch back. I go out and throw the pitch back and field ground balls. And right now, get with one friend, go out in the backyard, go to the local field, and just take some ground balls. Keep yourself going. Keep yourself motivated. Get off the Call of Duty for a little while and go out and get yourself ready.
Get off the Fortnite and go throw the ball around. Yeah.
That's it. Back when that didn't exist, that's why we got so much practice. We played in the street. So, hopefully these guys are out there and they're still motivated. It's easy to lose your motivation when, you're being told to sit on the couch all day.
Yeah. I guess if there is one thing, you're going to see who's nitty and gritty at the end of this thing and who's been motivated to keep after it.
Oh, our boys are hungry. Between me and Justin, my other coach, we get a lot of messages. What are we going to do? When can we go out and hit? And we just have to wait. We have to wait till somebody says, hey, you can utilize the facility to go out there and do something physical.
Yeah. What, have you heard anything at all? Does anybody, so no one knows anything really, right?
No, we know nothing. I don't know when the draft is going to be. For college coaches, that's something really important for us because we don't know how to set our rosters because we don't know who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. If you push it back into July, we won't be able to fill our rosters with the right people. I understand nobody knows it, but it's a tough deal for the colleges right now.
Okay, so seniors who are going to graduate this year, are those guys coming back for next year? How does that working with you guys?
Well, it's a tough deal. We're not able financially to bring guys back on scholarship unless we get very creative. So we're trying to talk to these guys, tell them, look, you've been granted a year from the NCAA. Whether or not we can help financially, we want to bring these guys back so they can enjoy that senior year that they missed out on. That being said, we do have 7 or 8 freshmen coming in, and that money has been allotted for them. And as a coach, as an administrator, you feel bad, but we can only do what we can do. And I'd love to see it happen.
A tough situation all around. I guess it depends on a budget.
That's a fact. Or if we can just find a way to get those guys in, we've got some really good seniors. We'd like to have them back. Great personality guys to teach the young guys. But, it comes right down to it. Every school's in the same situation. Yeah. And it's however their organizations decide to go forward. But for us, we're trying to scramble and get creative and bring in these players and let them come back and enjoy a good season.
Are you able to get on campus right now or no? Have they shut the whole campus down?
Campus is shut down. I do go into the office every once in a while, check emails, and I'll go out and play catch with my son. He's looking forward to his draft year as well. So we're trying to do anything we can to get ready for any and all situations.
So listen, we love having you as a member of Team Easton. We love the UC Riverside program. You want to talk some bats for a minute? The guys like the bats. You got to hit them when I came out. What do you think about the gear you guys use?
Heck, I'm not a very good judge if you're looking at my swing, but the guys really were positive with those this year. I really need some more hats. I mean, if that's what you're looking for.
Well, you lose them all on your boat, man.
Yo, and you know what? Those gloves, fantastic. They are much improved in the last few years. Catchers love theirs, and the first base, everything. So I think you guys are on the right track. I think you should just take it over and wipe everybody out.
That a baby, Troy. That a baby. All right. So what else? You got any last thoughts here? Any kind of tips you would give to a youth coach out there? Like any kind of tips?
Make the game fun. That for me is make the game fun. I've seen too many kids that just stop playing baseball because it's just too intense. Make the game fun, and the players will keep playing and get better. Yeah,
it's great advice. So listen, Troy, we appreciate you getting on with us. You're a legend. You're a UC Riverside guy, a great baseball guy, running a heck of a program out there. So we wish you the best. And I think that's all I got. You got anything else? You want to end on a closing note?
I do not. Thanks to Easton for everything you do for us. And, anytime you can get me out here, I'll be happy to come on. Hopefully the next time we'll be out on my field.
There you go. Thanks a lot, Troy. Stay safe on the river out there, man.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Bye, guys.